Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Thanks so much for joining us today. Well, I've got a quick video for you here today, and this one is a response to a question that I get a lot, which has to do with sights, specifically aftermarket night sights. Is it really necessary to change out your factory sights with something that has a tritium component or color or phosphorescent? Well, there's different opinions on that. I'm going to try to show you some examples and see if we can answer that question. We're going to do that in just a minute. All right, once again, welcome back. Thanks for being with us today. If this is your first time coming to the channel, or if you've been watching our videos and you just haven't had a chance to do so and you like our content, please consider subscribing. You can locate that little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner of your computer screen, or if you're on a mobile device, you can scroll down below the video and subscribe that way. It's a simple thing that helps us out a whole lot, and we really appreciate it. So let's talk about sights. So for example, today, I'll tell you right now, this is going to vary a lot based on what manufacturer of handgun that you're talking about, because different people like to use different types of mounts. But Glock has a lot of aftermarket options. It's a pretty simple one to change, so I figured we'd just start here. So if you've handled a Glock straight out of the box, most of the time you'll notice it has a sight like this. You've got a simple U-channel, a little white section there, and you have a dot. Now there's absolutely nothing wrong with a sight like this. If you'll notice, this one hasn't been changed. Now this was actually one of the very first Glocks that I ever got, and here we are probably 20 years later, and this handgun still has the original sights. Well, the reason is that this isn't a handgun that I will carry on me. I take it to the range, I take it to the woods. It's a good handgun, and I really enjoy it. 45 ACP is one of my favorite rounds, and the Glock 30 is a great handgun. I just didn't see a need to upgrade the sights for the purpose I use it for. So let's move to the next option. Now, oftentimes I will upgrade to sights that I think have got really good visibility. Now this is the Truglo TFO. It has the fiber optics running through both your front and your rear sight, and then it has a tritium component that will light it up as well. What I like about a sight like this is that in the daytime, when the light is striking it, your regular 3-dot picture here is just really, really bright. I'm the kind of individual that I hope and I feel statistically that most of your time that you're out is during the daytime, so having good sights for daytime use, I think, is a good policy. And not to mention the fact that as you age and your eyesight isn't as good as what it used to be, it's not a bad thing to have something that has really good visibility day and night. So these are a choice that I like quite often. Now, something else that I will use a lot, and it's a very easy upgrade as well, these are the Trijicon Bright and Tough night sights. So as you can see, they have a white dot appearance, so you have 3 white dots for daytime use. Then of course they have the tritium component. Now just so you'll know, all these sights that I'm showing you, we're going to lower the lights here in just a second. I can't give you a perfect idea of what they look like at night. It's hard to perfectly recreate those conditions on video, but I will show you how they respond to light in the dark, just to give you an idea of why I think some of these might be a good choice. Now, the next thing I'm going to show you is an actual option that I was able to get ordered on one from Glock. Now, this is a Glock 43X, and this actually has the Ameriglo sight. Now, you can see it's got this bright orange sight in the front here. I'm going to let you see that better whenever we cut the lights here in a minute. But it's got this bright front sight, and you've got the dark rear sight here, but of course you've got the dots, and I know it's a little hard to see that now, but you can still see it's a 3-dot picture. So it has good visibility. It's really easy to acquire that bright front sight during the daytime, and of course at nighttime you have a really good 3-dot setup there. Now I also have some of the these are by XS, and it's hard to tell perfectly, but it has a little orange ring around the dot there in the middle where the tritium is, and of course you have your tritium component here embedded in the rear side as well. I like these quite a bit too, and they're pretty competitively priced compared to some other sites. And then of course, last but not least, this is a set of the Trijicon HD XR sights. And once again, you have this orange ring, and then you have more of a, minimal rear sight here with the dots where it's embedded into the sight in the rear there. Now the front post is a little thinner on one like this, so that you have a little bit more airspace to see it. It doesn't take up the gap as much. So we talked about cutting the lights and taking another look at this here, so give me just a second and we're going to do that. Okay, now we're going to leave some lighting on because it's going to be hard to show you what I want you to see if I just get rid of the lighting altogether. But for example, this is that Trijicon HD XR sight, and if you'll pay attention to the front sight, when I hit it with the light here, you can see it glow. Same thing with the rear sights. And I'm using this UV light because regular lighting you'll get too much reflection off of it, but you can see it glow, and you get a really good picture off this at night. But one of the things I'm really trying to show you is that front sight with that ring around it, it really does pop really bright during the daytime. I think it's a really good choice. Now this is the XS that I was showing you that also has the orange ring. Once again, that ring will glow and that whole outer portion will just light up. And of course there's your rear sight responding to the light as well. So during the daytime, that front post is really going to show up well. And as I said, for me, having that front sight, really good visibility during the daytime is important because that's what I focus on the most. Now this is the 43X with the Ameriglo. Same thing, I hit it with just a little bit of light and you can see it really pops. This is extremely good visibility during the daytime, and of course you have an excellent glow sight for nighttime there, so you get a good sight picture day and night with this setup as well. Going to the Trijicon Bright and Tough I told you about. So you've got your white dot set up. Once again, when the light hits it, they respond really well. There's a lot of brightness there. So during the daytime, of course, as I said, this is essentially just 3 white dots during the daytime, but it's very effective. So don't underestimate how well just a plain 3 dot setup will work for your handgun. And then this is the Truglo TFO that I was talking about. Now watch the fiber optics on this. Okay, the reason I want you to see this is because the brightness level that you get off of these during the outside with the sun or any bright light, it truly is amazing how well these work. I like these sights so much. I wish I could get them for every carry gun that I have, but that's not the case. It covers a wide variety, so I'm pretty happy. But it's a really good sight picture. If you have any available light at all, the fiber optics just glow, as you can see, and it makes it really, really easy. And then of course we come back to our standard U-notch sight. Of course, in low light but not totally dark, you can still see that notch. And even the regular white responds to the light to some degree. So given all these different types of sights, you can see that based on how that front post and what materials, whether it's the fiber optic on the truglos or whether you have the high visibility ring, you've got a lot of options there to help you see that sight in low light. All right, got a little bit more light on the situation here again. So kind of in summary, you got to kind of decide for you what makes the most sense for the handgun that you carry. And like I say, these are great, but I always like to have a sight that has a little bit better visibility, because as good as the little white notch and the little dot is, it's just not my preferred way to carry. I really love the Truglo, the TFO here, as I said, if I could get this on every single handgun that I carry, I probably would, because I like it that much and it's got that much visibility. But like I say, lots of good options. You know, your bright and tough Trijicon, you know, you get a good 3-dot picture for day, and then of course you've got the tritium for night. Something like the Ameriglo. Once again, you have a kind of a dark back sight to your focus is on this orange post on the front, and that's really good at getting their weapon back on target. You have the XS sight, same thing. You have an orange ring around the dot, and then of course you have your tritium component inside the rear sight, and then of course the same thing with the Trijicon HD XR. And like I say, these sights, they're all readily available. They're pretty easy to install. One word of caution I will give you: if you're going to install these yourself, don't cheap out. Make sure you get a good quality sight pusher to help you with this, and make sure you get a good tool for doing the front. If you buy cheap stuff, it doesn't work very well. It can damage the finish of your gun and leave you frustrated. So just, make sure you find something that's good quality. If you have any doubts about it, take it to your, local gun store. Most good gun stores have got people they could either refer you to, or people on staff, that can handle stuff like upgrades of those nature if you're not comfortable with it. But anyway, those are some options. And like I say, once again, the main reason why I think that it's a good idea, in my case, the value here has got mainly to do with the visibility on the front sight. My eyes, I see very, very well at a distance. I've got just a little bit of presbyopia, so my close-up vision is not as good as I would like it to be. So having a bright front sight is perfect. I can acquire it easy, and I feel very comfortable using that type of sight picture. So everyone has different concerns. So obviously you got to get something that makes sense for you. But it's something to think about. And so the answer to the question, is it worth it to change your factory sights? Well, for me it is. For any gun that I'm going to carry, I always do it. So if it's a gun that you can't really upgrade the sights easily, but there's a factory option, I'll try to do that. If it's a revolver or something like that, I'll try to get some type of a tritium sight on the gun whenever I order it. Other than that, I always make plans to change it myself. So anyway, just some stuff to think about, and that's going to do it for today. We really appreciate you taking the time to stop in and watch the video once again. We'll be back soon with another one for you. So until that time, as always, everybody be careful out there and have a great day. Thank you.